Hi everybody, I'm Elizabeth Tallman. I'm here with my partner Tim Harris and our friend Travis. We're all teachers, facilitators, healers, and lately we've been having discussions about what's going on in the world, and it seems like everyone we talk to is feeling some kind of stress. We're wearing masks today because New Hampshire, which has had very few we've had a very low rate of infection. We've suddenly jumped up and our governor did a state mandate that we wear masks, so we're wearing masks. So I'd like to talk about how we're all becoming so dissociated and so separate. It's with COVID, with political differences, we're all becoming polarized. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a lot of stress. When I watch the news at night, I used to be able to watch an hour or two of news, and I like to be informed. I like to find out what's going on in the world, but lately it's causing almost PTSD, really. So one of the things that I've been doing is looking for those moments during the day, whether I'm watching a video, looking through my phone, but there are such beautiful moments being shown everywhere. The other day I watched a video of a gorilla, and he saw this little tiny bird, and it was a bird that had been injured, and he just touched it so gently, trying to get that bird to fly. And I'm sitting there, tears flowing down my face because it was so moving and so gentle. It brought me joy.
Well, I've seen even newscasters look like they're about ready to break into tears, and we've heard people all over the country, famous and not so famous, get on the television and talk about how stressed out they all are. And there was a story just the other day about a candy striper in a hospital. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell this story without getting a little verklempt myself. But there was, here's this high school girl who's been volunteering to kind of sit by people's bedside when they're dying. And she's got there on a Friday and was still going on Sunday. And she sat down to rest for a couple of minutes and fell asleep in the chair because she was, collapsed. And when she came to, she started like crying and screaming. She said, "Did anybody die? Did I let them die alone?" Our entire society, we're not all living in that same kind of situation. But I feel for the first responders and the people who are working in the medical field. And, there's stuff that, families are going through. And Travis, you were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, and from my time with working in the high school setting during the end of the pandemic, or during the beginning of the pandemic, and how I've been working in homes, it's really the kids now that are having to re-identify themselves. And it's also doing it's unbelievable the way that I see this all affecting children, and how they're so, they reach out and they say, I just want to hang out with my friends. I just want to spend time with my friends at school. I want to go to lunch. I want to go to recess. I want to just have somebody to talk to. And, that is pouring out in so many ways. And it affects the home. It affects the parents, because the parents are being affected too. And these kids are trying to re-identify themselves. And so many parents are trying to re-identify themselves that it can be really tough to find common ground, to be able to come together and to hear each other, to be able to receive where each party is coming from, because we're both parent and child are in such a tough situation. So as parents, as kids, it's not easy for anybody right now.
Well, you were saying something about pets even the other day.
Oh yeah, so even the pets that I think even Elizabeth, you brought this up, the pets who are so used to being the king of the mountain or the king of the castle, and having some time alone, they don't have their time anymore. They don't have their sanctuary, their place to take their naps and relax, and they're showing up and supporting these families and being the best that they can be, but they're getting tired too, from what I've seen.
Well, I mean, the thing is about the time is that I was talking to some parents the other day that were trying to take care of their kids during this period of time, and I said to them, I said, you know, well, are you there for them? They said, am I there? Well, I'm there all the time. And I said, well, that's not exactly what I meant. You see, kids especially, but all of us, spell love Time. And unless you're actually in the moment, I'm not talking about distracted or stressed, unless you're actually in the moment, basically whatever you're doing is irrelevant because you're not actually there. You're worrying about money or finances, and Elizabeth, you were talking about that the other day.
Sorry to break this up, folks, and we'll get back to sharing the love and some positive recommendations in a second. But we forgot to mention that we'll be doing a Love the Life You Live weekend summit in the early part of next year, which, oh, by the way, is only like a couple of weeks away. This will be online and hopefully in person for some of us. We hope to have enough other guests and other speakers and good teachers to make this really, really rich and powerful for you. If you want to find out more teachers, where it's going to be, how we're going to do it, all of those details, please click on the link below and you can leave your email, or you could email one of us directly after the end of this video. So thank you so much for your time and love and light, and hopefully you'll be there with us next year so we can show you how to love the life that you live.
We're all going through something. I mean, it's just amazing how many stresses we have in our lives. People are losing their homes. They're using up their bank accounts. They're losing their jobs. So my struggle is, what do I say to someone? How can they cope with this? And one of the ways is, for me, is looking for those moments in the day. So I encourage everyone, as you go into the holidays, really look at the people around you and value that they're your family, they're your relatives, they're your friends. And rather than look for the ways you're different or the things you disagree about, how about we value each other and treat each other with that kindness to know that, I mean, what we're going through, some people aren't going to make it. And the other thing that I've found, you were talking about stress, the other thing that I found for me is just to take a moment every day or a moment a couple of times a day and just express gratitude for what we do have.
Well, sometimes we get so busy. We're running around and we're trying to get everything done at once because, if for one thing, it's a distraction to our other stress. But unless we have like little triggers, okay, for example, almost everybody starts their car. And honest to God, if you were to tie a string around the key on your ignition or around a string around your steering wheel, you could actually take a moment, because you're supposed to, by the way. It says in the manual in your car that you're supposed to not just start and go. You're supposed to give it a moment for the engine to warm up. Have its cup of coffee in the morning, okay? So while it's warming up, if you just take a minute, and look, I'm not talking about my version of God or their version of God, but whatever your version of the Creator is, if you just take a moment and connect, that's like punching in the time clock. It doesn't take very long. Just connect and allow your heart to be ready and open. That'll de-stress 35% or 45 or 55% of your day. So give yourself a chance to do that. And then the other last thing that I want to bring up is that, look, we have all had moments where we could not sleep. Even me. And I'm pretty good at falling asleep. Don't shut up, you guys. Anyway, I'm pretty good at falling asleep. But I've had moments where I couldn't. Okay, so if I lie down on my bed and imagine that there's the love of the universe spilling over me like a waterfall, and I let it work itself from my toes, slowly, 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 all the way up to my nose. By the time it gets up here, I'm asleep. So give yourself a couple of moments in your day. And by the way, if something gets crazy making in your house, most people have a yard or a lobby of a hotel or, some balcony or veranda. Go out there for a minute. Don't take it out on the people around you, because the frustration is not with them. So remember that these moments are important, and that the things that they were talking about, the family issues and the workaday stress, we can all work together, and in this time that we're supposed to be thankful, we're being separated from our families. We're not supposed to all get together and have a big hug. Well, do your best.
It's all gonna get better soon. I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to make it through this period. And my prayers go out to everyone for what you're going through. I can truly relate. Have hope. Know that it's gonna get better. We're kind of reaching that point where from then on it's gonna get better. Just value the people around you and the people you care about, and know that better times are coming. We'll all get there together, we hope.
And really, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, elders, do your best to receive each other, to be able to be received. We've experienced such polarity in so much that we're experiencing that, this time of year, it's just about putting the differences aside and just being able to give and to receive, to be able to wear both hats, so that we can come together and get through this together. Because at the end of the day, we all have a different story and we're all going through different things, but we are all going through something.
Yes.
And if you can't give each other a hug, at least give each other an elbow bump.
All right,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. See you
Take
later.
care.